this is real, this is proper war.
The weapons of mass destruction that we were looking for were not there.
Just filled my eye full of blood. Doors of hell opening up.
I have great misgivings about it now, great regrets.
It was just about the oil.
Thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of innocent Iraqis who were killed. That is the real tragedy of this war.
My fellow citizens, at this hour, American and coalition forces are in the early stages of military operations to disarm Iraq, to free its people, and to defend the world from grave danger. On my orders, coalition forces have begun striking selected targets of military importance to undermine Saddam Hussein's ability to wage war.
We investigate the weapons of mass destruction, and we will do that. And as I say every time I'm asked, I remain confident they will be found.
I was part of the planning team that was involved in the invasion of Iraq. My first actual proper deployment was in 2005. By then I'd been in the army for more than 20 years. I was in charge, I was leading a company, about 100 soldiers.
I joined the army in 2003 when Operation Iraqi Freedom was kicking off to take Saddam Hussein out and his weapons of mass destruction. I was part of a team that went up to Baghdad to provide security for high-ranking officials.
On my first tour in Iraq, it was relatively peaceful. Where it all kind of went wrong was dismantling of the Iraqi police force, dismantling of the Iraqi army, what we call de-Baathification. You know, and when that happened, then elements of insecurity, everybody remembers this huge, awful scenes of looting in Baghdad and across, obviously, as lawlessness crept into and across the whole of Iraq. I think there was an element of a sense of victory, certainly within the United States, that they had deposed Saddam Hussein. But of course in 2003, nobody knew what was going to happen in 2004, 2005, 2006. Nobody anticipated that Iraq would effectively descend into a civil war over the next 2 to 3 years, a very bloody civil war, the impacts of which are still felt in the Middle East today.
Destruction and death everywhere. Quite clearly signs of bombs being dropped in the area where we was working, and you could just taste it and smell it in the air, the death and destruction.
The intelligence that was presented to us by both British intelligence agencies but also US intelligence agencies about the weapons of mass destruction. It looked relatively credible. I mean, and it's difficult to say that now when one looks back at it and when one realises just how false and just how flawed and inaccurate that intelligence was. It's extraordinary as one looks back at it now that we launched that war.
Tony Blair and the rest of the government that sent us off to this country in the Middle East knew the whole reason of why we was going in there.
But none of us anticipated that it would open a Pandora's box of violence. This awful civil war that engulfed Baghdad and the majority of Iraq from 2005 to 2006. And that's the great tragedy of the war. The thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of innocent Iraqis who were killed or whose lives were changed horrendously as a result of a civil war. And of course it didn't end in 2006, 2007, 2008. So I say this is sort of Pandora's box. We unleashed hell through that war which saw the rise of ISIS, it saw the awful events in northern Iraq, in Syria, all of it.
The human cost of war is real. It doesn't take Einstein to work out that when someone drops a bomb, regardless of who it is, somebody's going to get hurt or killed, and it's just going to leave behind a trail of destruction and chaos and sadness. I saw that firsthand in both countries that I went to.
Many people would view it as illegal. It's a huge global error, strategic disaster. One of the greatest blunders, I think, one of the greatest wrong decisions, most profound wrong decisions of the 21st century.
It just felt wrong as soon as I got in there, and everybody I've spoken to that's been on Optelic or Iraq in some formation just has the same opinion, that we were just there for oil. There was no weapons of mass destruction from the off. They just wanted to get a dictator out of the way that they couldn't negotiate with.
The weapons of mass destruction that we were looking for were not there. They just were not there. The chemical weapons, the biological weapons, all of the things which we thought we were looking for, they didn't exist, and they hadn't existed.
The decision to remove Saddam Hussein from power was controversial. We did not find the weapons of mass destruction that we all believed were there.
The reason for him wanting to go in was quite clear. In our eyes, it was, or my personal eyes, it was just about the oil and how they wanted to control it.
Yeah, the reality, of course, with all of these conflicts is, where does the money go? You know, who gets the contracts? Almost invariably US or Western oil companies. So an awful lot of that money never goes to the Iraqis or to whoever it is. It ends up being creamed off by the United States, by the occupying power. I have great misgivings about it now, great regrets. But at the time, I believed it was being done for good intentions. But I look back on it and I realise I was pretty naive and foolish.
It's not pleasant being a soldier. You have to be in a certain mindset to do what soldiers do. After you've done it and the dust is cleared, there's always going to be a moment where you reflect on it and feel a little guilty for, you know, taking human life. It's not pleasure. At the end of the day, it is kill or be killed. Not ideal.
I think we've all learnt huge lessons. I think our political leaders are hugely nervous now about committing to long-term wars, and are certainly hugely nervous about committing ground forces, soldiers, boots on the ground.
I think politicians need to realise that if they decide that they're going to take the country to war, you know, there's going to be people that get hurt, whether it's physical, psychologically, or both. And that's on their shoulders. And if they are happy with that and can sleep at night knowing that, then kudos to them.
Have we left Iraq in a better place now?